Welcome back to another episode of the Do Not Resuscitate podcast, where we are no longer breathing life into the things that no longer serve us and pulling the plug on things that we are ready to let go. We hope you all are enjoying your week, your weekend, or whatever it may be, and that you all hear something that will inspire you all to come back and hang out with your girls. Let's jump into these intros.
Hey, y'all. It's Denise, your favorite redhead.
Hey everybody, it's Nicole, the N and DNR.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Ruthia, aka the real one, aka your favorite fat girl. How y'all been living? How y'all been doing?
Living good. How you been living?
Stressed. I got a teenager raising me.
Yeah. And we all know it's hard raising our parents, so I can't imagine what he going through.
Where the button at?
Already.
And it don't even work. It's not working. It was a girl fuck you moment, and it's not working.
The fuck?
Now they all finna go because I didn't push them all.
I just want to give a special birthday shout out to Denise.
Hey, y'all.
Happy birthday.
The redheaded stepchild.
For sure, the redheaded stepchild.
But the original redhead, because
Facts,
right.
okay?
Born that way.
Not these.
Ain't no
Fake
no
redhead.
dye, ain't no box number.
No, wait, because I got 33 in my hair right now. No, this a 30. This a 30. This ain't 33. This a 30. And this pack here was $8.99.
Period, Pooh.
Tone got a box color today now.
Say it in the mic.
Say it last name. Tone has a box color now. I don't know what color it is though, but it looks good.
So, like, is it like black, blue? You know, he like think he's Cisco sometimes, so sometimes he's platinum.
So you didn't see Mimi's episode
No,
where
but
he was
I
wearing
need
his
to see
his tracksuit, but he had a tracksuit on and a gold chain.
Oh, God. He really embracing this Uncle Tone, huh?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So, what color was the hair?
It's black. It's
And he like 89?
I guess it's Grandpa Tone, huh? Not Uncle Tone.
Interesting.
Paw.
Tone's a young man. What you talking about?
I cannot.
In his
Good
mind.
job.
Just saying. How you been doing?
I'm good. I'm doing really good.
You don't want to talk at all? Just a little bit? You don't just prolong it just a little bit.
No, we're not going to prolong it.
They can't hear you.
We're
You
going
ain't
to go
in the mic.
ahead and, get right into it. With the third part of our Dear Diary episode, and this week is the layers of a real one.
Oh, so I had a check mark right here. Tommy, how you been doing?
I think you're trying to buy time here.
I think
Absolutely.
so, too.
because you've never asked me how I'm doing.
So,
I'm doing very well.
How the kids?
How are you doing?
I'm nervous as fuck, but how the kids, you know?
Not
The
how the
kids.
kids. His girl's grown as hell.
One daughter is at she's probably off work now. Mm-hmm. Daughter number 2 is in North Carolina visiting her boyfriend.
Oh, how's that going?
Oh, my gosh.
It's going well. Daughter number 3 is in Portugal.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
What's
she's.
she doing over there?
My brother is there, and he's there for a number of days with his wife, and
He married?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have told him all about you if he wasn't, and he would have
Ran.
He would remain unmarried.
He would have remained unmarried.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
he
all about you. And he would have remained unmarried.
Yep, that's fair.
But she's there till Saturday, Sunday,
Okay.
something like
That's
that.
pretty cool. So, all right. So, we're going to go ahead and get into this.
Layers of a real one.
Right. So, but before we get into it, I do want to advise our audience that there may be triggers. So, I just want you to be prepared, but just,
Okay.
listen, take from it what you may need. We all have a healing process, and this is part of Ruthia's, and so we're going to get into it.
If y'all haven't already, make sure y'all go back and listen to part 1 and part 2, Denise's and Nicole's.
Absolutely.
Part 1, the story of a redheaded stepchild.
And part 2 was, how about I don't remember. I don't remember the name of it.
Miss Red.
Lady Red.
Lady Red. So,
all right, let's. Dear Diary. So I met this guy. I was fresh out of high school. And I met him through a friend. We always hung out in group settings, but, it was more so just he got a car, I'm not catching the bus type of thing for me. Apparently he was the quote-unquote big brother figure to a friend of mine's. And it went from, I guess you could say, us being in group settings to us being in smaller settings, which at the time I didn't think too much of. And then one day he was just like, oh, we're going to this bar. It's a family member's birthday. And I'm like, we ain't old enough to get in no bar. And we went to the bar. He got us in. I don't really think they was checking for IDs or anything, but he got real weird real quick. And it was more so somebody that said something to him was like, oh, they like me, and he got offended and was like, I'm taking you home. Okay. Like, I didn't necessarily care, but when he dropped me off, he said, I don't mess with virgins. And the first thing in my mind was, who told you I was a virgin? Mm-hmm. So I was confused, but at the same time, I didn't care because I didn't look at him in that way. I wasn't interested in him. I had actually just met Tyler's father. So I was, trying to like him. Trying. So a couple years had went past. I was helping take care of my grandmother who had Alzheimer's, and I was walking from her house home. Now, my grandmother stayed on 25th and Brown. I lived on 19th and Juneau. So it's not a super long walk. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I'll be cool. I'm going to walk home. I do not remember the route I went, but I know it wasn't like super cold or whatever outside because I was willing to walk. I walked from her house. It was either down 23rd Street or 24th Street. And I happened to see a group of guys sitting on the porch. I crossed over the street because, same way you is when you see a dog. It's like, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just trying to get home. I crossed the street, and one of the guys, like, yell out, like, is that Big Booty Judy? I keep walking because not too many people call me that. So I'm just, I keep walking, and it ended up being the guy from before. He like, oh, we, stood there. We talked for a moment, and then he was like, oh, if you're going home, I can give you a ride. I'm like, okay,
right,
cool. Like, never no harm done before. So we get to my house, and I believe I lived on the 3rd floor. He like, oh, man, I got to pee real bad. You mind if I come up? And I'm like, sure, no problem. So he comes up. I don't know what his original intentions were, but where the bathroom was across the hall from Tyler's room. He goes to the bathroom, and he literally comes right back out, and he slaps me. And he's like, bitch, you owe me. And I'm like, what? You ain't no virgin? You owe me some pussy. Literally, in that moment, I'm just standing there like, what? Like, what happened? So from me, quote unquote, not being a virgin, he couldn't deal with me. But now that I'm not, well, from me being a virgin, he couldn't talk to me. But from the point of him knowing that I had a child now, just from seeing Tyler's room, he felt like I owed him something. So he comes out, he hits me and tell me that I owe him. He proceeds to rape me. And before he leaves, he spits on me and walks out. I could not tell you how long I sat on that floor and cried. I just remember my phone ringing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, get up, get up, get up. And I go and I grab my phone. It's the daycare driver. He's like, we're outside. So in that moment, I had to pull it together and be like, okay, I need to be a parent. They call me at least 3 times, and I'm trying to like, okay, come on, get my clothes together. I can't let Tyler see me like this. Grab whatever was on the floor that was a mess, throw it in the closet, and I go and I grab Tyler, and I got to snap right into mommy mode. Like, for me, it was like I didn't have time to process it. I didn't have time to think or react. I had to be a mother. So In that moment, I go grab my baby. He's his normal happy self. He is, Mommy, look what I did in daycare, and whatever. So I go and I'm cooking dinner. I take my shower. I put Tyler to bed. It's a normal night. I never talked about it. That night, the nightmares started. And it wasn't a nightmare of me being raped in my own home. It was a different nightmare that scared me because I couldn't see myself. I couldn't see the person that was touching me. It was just dark, but I could feel them. And I had this nightmare over and over and over again until my mind suppressed it. And years went by. The nightmares started again randomly. And this time I could see myself, but I couldn't see the person. Time passed. Nightmares start again. Then I can hear the person's voice, but it was very, very like it was a distant voice. I told myself I didn't want to, I kept saying, I can't sleep. I don't want to finish these dreams. I don't know what it means. I had ran into a prophet, and she told me, you need to finish whatever it is that God started. And I didn't understand what she mean. And it was just okay, I need to figure out what she's saying. And she said, at night when it's dark, open your eyes. I could not think of what she meant. The nightmare started back. I just kept saying, I can't finish this. Each time that the nightmare started back, it was like something else was revealed to me. I was, for whatever reason, in my grandma's house in the tub. And it was like I was being, just somebody was trying to drown me. But I could hear familiar voices, but I couldn't see the person's face. Recently, 2019, 2020, I finally was like, I can't live like this anymore. I have to figure out what this is. I fought myself to sleep. You have to sleep. You got to get through this. You need to figure out what it is. And I talked to some people. The nightmares was me being molested as a child, and it was a memory that I had suppressed. So those suppressed memories, this time I'm still not even acknowledging the fact that I was raped as an adult in my home. But that triggered the memory of the molestation. And I won't say who it was, but it was more than one person, and it was family members. In 2019, I wrote a letter to the person, one of the people who molested me, and to this day, they have not acknowledged it. They haven't acknowledged me. They haven't acknowledged my feelings. I told my mom. I didn't tell her who. And after time had passed, initially she asked, who, when, why wouldn't you tell me, why, all the things that a mother would ask. But in my mind, it was, as a child, she always told us, I'm going to protect you if my life depended on it. And whoever hurt you, I'm going to kill them. So to me, it's that was a lot. Mm-hmm. If someone hurt me, you're going to kill them. You're going to go to jail. They're going to die. I couldn't hold, her accountable for that. It's I don't want to lose my mom. So I never told her. And when I told her, she had all these questions, and I avoided answering them until one day she said the person's name, and I broke down, and she was like, I knew it. I knew it was that person, but she never, I feel like the response that I needed from her, she didn't give me. It was more so, I knew that happened. And in my mind, it was, well, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you save me? Why didn't you protect me? And now it's more so, don't talk about it. I don't know why we do this, why we constantly say, what happens at my house stays in my house, or these covered wagons, but it's so unhealthy I would never tell my child not to talk about something that's hurting him. If it happens, talk about it to whoever you need to talk about it to. If I can't protect you, tell somebody. I haven't even expressed everything to my mom. She not ready. And as much as I want to forgive her, I'm angry. And I don't want to be angry with her. Because she didn't do anything. But it's also what she didn't do. And that hurts. It hurts a lot. I'm expected to go to family gatherings and just play nice. And that hurts. Like, why am I supposed to just continue to play happy when I'm being taunted every single time? Like, I shouldn't have to go somewhere and y'all tell me, well, don't mess up this event, or don't do this because this person is going to be here. I feel like I should be able to scream it at the top of my lungs. He did this. He did this. And we all be able to, you know what I'm saying, grow and heal from it. But I can't even heal from any of it because I'm still told to be silent. And it just, I know it's affected me as a mother. I'm overprotective of my son. And he don't deserve that because he should be able to, you know, live his own life. And he doesn't understand why. I mean, he knows a little bit because it's come up, but he shouldn't be penalized for how I've been treated. I don't even know how to move on. I don't know how to talk to them about it because I'm afraid that they're going to tell me I'm lying. And it's not even that I need their validation. I just need someone to be like, okay, that happened to you. Something simple. Just that simple. You don't have to say that I'm telling the truth because it's my truth. I know what I went through.
Just I'm listening.
Mm-hmm. I see you. I hear you. They see me hurting, but they don't. It's like, oh, okay. She's being dramatic.
The invalidation of your feelings is really what hurts the most. Mm-hmm. Other than the actual act itself.
Yeah. I know I'm past my time as far as speaking on the person who raped me as an adult, but since then I ran into somebody that he knows, and it was a person that I was starting to date, and it was probably the most frustrating thing for him to know who I was, but for me not to know who he was. And great guy, nothing against him, but I was at his house one day, and I see a picture of him with the guy who raped me. And I freaked out. And he was like, dang, he did tell me about you. So for him to be able to go around and tell people, like, you're telling people that you hurt me, and it's okay. Like, nobody said anything. You told someone. Hey, you remember old girl, oh yeah, that I brought to the bar? Yeah, I raped her. Like, that's your story. Thank God I have not seen him because I don't know what my reaction would be. But the fact that you are walking around and knowingly that you told people as if it's a badge of honor, I pray that God never lets me see him. I don't know if I would be broken down in fear or if I would be angry enough to physically attack. But that alone, knowing that he said something to somebody else, it broke my spirit completely. Like, my trust has been horrible with people, and people always say, like, you so mean. I'm guarded. I'm hurting.
It's like a defense mechanism.
I was just going to defense mechanism. Yeah.
So, I started this healing journey, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And
It's a process, and it's your process, most importantly.
It's just been a lot. It's like every single day something is either said or done, and it's like I should be excited to be around certain people, or I should be excited to be going to certain events, but I'm always questioning, am I dressing a certain way, or am I provoking people or provoking people, or am I going to run into this person? And I feel like the people around me that do know, and they know who, are constantly asking me, well, are you going to come because this person going to be there? You ain't going to act a fool, are you? Like, why am I the one that needs to be
Why you got to act right?
Right.
every single time? Or, okay, we know you don't want to be around this person, but I can be around. I'm not asking you not to indulge in conversation or talk to whoever you talk to, but respect how I feel as well.
Respect what happened to me.
It's like that's the hardest thing to do. Like, why should I be told, well, I want you to come to this event, but not if you're going to act up?
Like it's your fault. And that's what it is. They're making it like it's your fault that this happened to you. You were a child.
Like, come in the room and sit down.
It's
Like,
sit down and shut up. It's
I
very. It's
feel
giving
like a
very
child.
Much, it's giving very much sit down and shut up.
Instead of, he did this to you, so
We're going to hold him accountable for what happened to you. You're the victim.
Mm-hmm.
You're who it happened to.
Mm-hmm. And I have to, I mean, it's been so many times where I've had to grab my things and go, because I don't want to embarrass my family. I don't want to mess up someone's event that they spent their money on and what have you. But it's like, I think what gets me the most is even the family members who don't know, or people who don't know in general, I'm going to pray that God mend that relationship, or I'm going to pray that, you know what I'm saying, y'all work that through, or that's your distance and that, or y'all used to be so close. Who fucking cares?
Right.
Don't tell me that I need to get over something that you have no idea what it is that I'm hurting from. And when people say that, I don't understand how you can tell me I need to get over something when you don't know what it is I need to get over. Like, allow me my time to feel
However
how I
the fucking
feel.
long it takes.
Right.
Like, if I feel a type of way, I feel a type of way. Probably ask me. But I know a lot of people are not ready to hear the truth. And at this point, I don't think I care. I don't care about who feelings I hurt, who I'm exposing. The only person, I'm not gonna lie, I care that my mom, how she feel and how she's viewed, because she was a great mother. She still is a great mother. But I'm angry. Not because she didn't protect me back then, but because I don't feel protected now. Like, you didn't know then, so I excuse that. But you know now.
And the other person is still being protected. The person that did it.
Like, I wasn't even able to tell her everything. Like, I wasn't able to expose everything that I needed to get off my chest to her, because she was so stuck on the who. And, well, if this comes out, then it makes me look a certain type of way. Like, okay.
Right.
Right. So instead of it being about you, it became about other people and what other people thought or would think or whatever.
How it would make someone else look, what the quote unquote narrative would now be about a specific person, when in reality none of that matters.
Nope. And I've went through my mind over and over again, like, well, maybe this person experienced what I experienced, so they think it's normal. Maybe this person was going through something, so maybe they feel like it was necessary. Maybe someone else told, like, I've put all of these things in my head, like,
But
what did I do to,
none of that makes it
as a
okay.
victim, that's what you do.
I understand.
It's, why did I do this, or why was I in this place, or why did I let this man drive me home?
Right. You start to think of
What could I have done?
What could I have done to prevent it? If I hadn't X, Y, and Z,
Right.
then maybe that wouldn't have happened. If I hadn't said, if I wasn't with, if I didn't go.
Why didn't
Right.
I tell sooner? And
or even for you, like, why did I trust him? But why not?
Why wouldn't you?
You didn't, you hadn't, you know what I mean? You didn't know. And that's what predators do. They prey on those exact things. They prey on your trust. They prey on you not necessarily knowing. That's what they do. So none of this is your fault. That's their actions. And I know that me saying that, ain't gonna help nothing.
it does, though.
But you need to know that none of this is your fault. That's them being sick. They're sick. They're ill. You know what I mean? And so you just have to kind of remind yourself, it's not your fault. They took those actions to do those things.
Yeah.
And I know this story is about you, but I understand that as well, as being molested at 10 years old, 11 years old. So I understand. And same thoughts.
I just recently told you my story, so.
Yeah. I just.
I was also a victim of sexual assault recently.
Jesus, Lord, mercy. I just hope that people who hold their stories in, myself included, don't feel like it's their fault, or because I've held on to my story for so long, like, I find myself thinking, who else did I allow them to hurt? How many other young girls or other women were hurt because I didn't speak up?
I'm just sitting here, like, it's 3 women, all some form of sexual abuse. You know what I'm saying? 3 different ages, 3 different lifestyles, 3 different upbringings. And all of us have been affected in some form or fashion. It got to stop. It has to stop. And it has to stop with us speaking out. It has to stop with us trying to hide it. It has to stop with us, being embarrassed about it. Like, we have to stop this because it's so many. You know what I mean? You have a son. It's happening to boys too. You don't have children yet, but one day you will.
Right.
You know what I mean? It gotta stop. It gotta stop with us.
I just don't want to feel guilty anymore. The guilt from not speaking up, the guilt from being there and allowing it to happen, for not telling when it happened and who it happened. And it's like the trauma is it's not in just in what happened, but what didn't happen.
Correct.
Like, I'm just as traumatized or hurt by what I expected from people as to what the people who did something to me.
It was the response or lack thereof that is also very much so traumatizing.
Yeah. And I understand that I have to give people, like we had talked about earlier, I have to give people grace, and I can't expect them to be ready to talk and heal when I'm ready. But at the same time, at least respect the fact that I went through something, and don't silence me when it comes time for me to tell my story.
Don't belittle me. Don't invalidate my actual experience.
Giving grace does not mean that you can't tell your truth.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
When you said that you have to wait for other people to be ready to talk about it, what you mean?
Even just from, I don't know what my initial thought was when I wrote the letters. So when I was a child, I was molested by 2 separate family members. I only wrote one of them a letter. I don't know what I was expecting, but since it was literally at the strike of midnight, that's why I say 2019, 2020, never, and I did it on Facebook purposely in Messenger so I can see that this person seen it. And whether they read it fully or if they read the first couple lines, they know what I'm feeling. And it's come out in other arguments since then. They have never once said, I didn't do it. They never once said, I did it. They just haven't responded. And the fact that I'm positioned into spaces where I come in here and I mess with y'all all the time. Hey, Tommy. Those are the things that I get put into position with. It's like, y'all not ready to talk about it, but I'm supposed to stand here and allow this person to say, hey, Ruthia, it's taunting.
Yeah.
And you're telling me not to talk about it, but I need to get this off my chest. It's heavy. It hurts. I can't talk about it. And I understand me telling my mom a million things went through her head because I'm a parent. So I understand it's like, wait, what did I not do? You're questioning who you are as a parent. You're questioning why didn't you know? Why didn't you pick up on these things? What could have I done differently? So I understand.
Sooner?
Exactly. I understand her needing that time. But when she found out who, it was like a halt in her comforting and protecting me to, wait a minute, what are you really saying? Are you sure? Like, why are you questioning me now that you know the who versus when you just knew the what? So it was like, okay, well, now you're not ready to talk. But before it was, let's have a conversation and figure out what's going on. But now that you know the who, it's embarrassing. I know it's so many other women that's experienced this, or even as mothers is going to have to hear their child come to them and say this. Like, it's going to be painful either way, if it's experiencing it or having to be the parent who hears it. It's terrifying. But at the same time, we have to know that we got to be able to work through it. And don't ever tell somebody that they're lying when they express that, because even just admitting it and saying it is
saying it
hard.
out loud.
It's hard. I randomly just said it one day, and Aziza looked at me, and we were setting up an event, and I don't remember what we were talking about, and I just said it, and she literally, I don't remember what she was holding, but she dropped it. Everything was everywhere. She's like, wait, what? Pause the event. Tell them that it's going to get pushed back. Like, we need, like, what? And I'm like, in my mind, it was like, I said that out loud. Like, and we need to create these safe spaces for people to even talk about it.
Feel comfortable to even express that. So many times we are silenced because of the what, because of the when, because of the where, because of the who, because of all of these extenuating circumstances. We're silenced. This is not the right time. We'll wait till later. Well, why do you got to say that right now? Is that really necessary?
Yes. The answer is yes. It's all necessary. It all needs to be said. Like, if I could stand on a soapbox and scream at the top of my lungs, I would. Because every time I talk about it, I feel a little lighter. It still hurts the same.
Of course.
But I feel better because I'm talking about it. Before, it would be a memory would flash in my head and I couldn't, like, I would just cringe and be like, okay, nope, I gotta, like, I would hide from myself. I wasn't sleeping. I was like, okay, if I'm having these nightmares at night, I'm gonna go to third shift.
Right.
Like, then I don't have to sleep at night. And it's hard for me to sleep during the day. So I changed so much just so I can avoid it. And even how it's affected me in relationships, whether it's friendships or whatever, I'm so guarded. I don't even want to, like, certain things that trigger me, I didn't know was triggering me. My ears. Don't ever touch my ears. But it took that's been a thing for so long. I was at one of Patrice's events, and I don't remember what it was. I mean, it was Patrice, so y'all.
No.
If you know, you know.
You know, so I don't remember what was said, and I was, like, freaked out. And she was like, you need to figure out what that trigger is. Like, why is that such a trigger for you? And I'm like, I don't know, touching my ears was weird. She was like, you freaked out a little different. Like, figure that out. And it literally took me going to therapy for her to say, sit down and figure out what your triggers are, for me to be like, oh, that's what that means.
That's what that is.
Just touching. I mean, I don't like people getting close to my ears. Don't get close to my ears. Don't breathe heavy on my ears. Like, none of that. It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. I have a friend who she would never grow her hair long because the first thing that they would say was, your hair is so pretty. And then, you know.
Yeah. I couldn't remember. I was in a program as a teenager, and one of the activity was Reggie Moore. He wanted Urban Underground. Him and his wife, Charlene. They wanted to bring light to situations like this, and they put all of the guys in a room, set them in chairs, turned all the lights off. They had the guys upstairs, the girls downstairs. Though a woman came down and talked to us, the guys was upstairs, and basically prepping them because this is going to be triggering. I can remember every single girl was like, I got a story. Every single girl in that room either said they had their own story or they knew somebody else's story that had talked to them. And it was at least 20 girls. And even some of the boys, like, after we talked to them, broke down, like, that could have been my sister. Or so basically what we did was they sat them in chairs, turned off the lights, blindfolded them, and we would go and whisper something that had happened to us in each boy's ear, just so we would have a safe space, and for guys to not pick on girls because you don't know what they've been through. And one of the boys, he recognized one of the girls' voices, and it was his twin sister. And you know what I'm saying? So just even creating spaces like that, at the time, I was not strong enough to tell my own story. I told somebody else's. Jesus. And it was like, afterwards, I was like, why can't I tell me? Like, why can't... I didn't even feel comfortable talking about it to myself. It was why would I say that? Like, that didn't happen. No, it didn't. And, you know, like, I would literally tell myself, no, we're not claiming it. And just being afraid to even acknowledge the fact that it happened, it hurt it too bad. So I took somebody else's story when I had the opportunity. Like, and they had counselors there, but I had the perfect opportunity to talk, and I just didn't because I was afraid of what would happen. And I feel like we need to get out of that. We need to stop saying, well, if I tell this person gonna get in trouble.
They should. As they should.
Need to.
Because in the meantime, we walking around broken
and hurting other people.
And hurting other people, you know. I think we all probably been, you know, like you say, you walk around being angry or, you know, hurt or whatever. So we have to get it out, you know, get it out of us so that we can continue to heal, and make sure that our children are healed and that, you know, they don't have to go through, you know, these same things that we did. Because I didn't tell anybody. I don't think I told anybody until I was probably, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago. And I told my sister. She's the only person I told. But I didn't realize it bothered me. Because in that moment, I remember that it was a good feeling. So then I felt guilty, like, but that felt good, but it was wrong. I'm 10 years old. You know what I mean? It was wrong, and I didn't know that it bothered me until I was in a public place and I saw the person that did it to me, and then I was freaked out in public.
Listen.
And I was at 30 years old when that happened. But it's just like I had pushed it down so far and so deep that I didn't even realize it had affected me, and we have to.
Or not going to specific places because you know that this person
is gonna be
might be there, or I've seen this person there a few times, so I'm just now you're changing your entire lifestyle on account of someone else.
Someone else's action.
Right.
I don't remember where, but I was reading when they say, like, the body response to trauma sometimes will, when we say we buried it, like, no, our body literally buries it.
That's
because
where
it's like,
sickness and all of that.
Nope. I don't even want you to remember that.
We hold ours here.
In our hips.
Women, we hold trauma in our hips.
And it's just like, how many years went by before my body told me I was ready to relive it or what have you? How many times did I fight my own body? And how many different things that could I have done, you know, to get past it or what have you? Even just thinking about it, like you said, avoiding certain places. My mom was engaged. I almost didn't participate. I mean, she ended up not getting married, but I was like, no. I'm not doing it.
The person was going to be there.
And there's been times where people have reached out to me. Oh, such and such said hi, and they ain't talked to you. I don't want to. And so originally I had only told my mom and the other person, and then it was a big family fight where my child was involved, and it came out, and my sister found out, and her reaction was, I'm finna kill him. And even though I don't want that for her, that was the reaction that I expected
from your mom.
Like, fuck everything else I have going on. In this moment, my sister needs protecting. And I think that's what I wanted. That's what I needed. Because at the end of the day, it's like, why did I hold on to this for 30 plus years for her not to even react?
Yeah.
I felt stupid. Like, so I held on to this to protect who? Because I was scared that your reaction was going to be violence. And you didn't even react. That's how I feel now. And she could tell you a different story. I don't know how she responded in her own room and her own prayer closet and what went through her mind. But for me, there was not a response. There was a question after question, and then whoa, now you're going too far. Which was,
it's never too far.
Like, now you saying too much. Okay, I understand that you hurt, but It's that but. Like, okay, but let's not say all of that.
No.
You
Let's
need
say
to
all of it.
that and more.
Let's say all of it.
If I was to see the person that raped me, I would probably be a crazy person and yell out, "He raped me."
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who else is hurt, who else is whatever, because
I mean, but why should you? He didn't
I was about to say,
care
they
when he
didn't
was
care,
doing it.
right. There was obviously no type of thought or care
Mhm.
involved in the action, so
and it was like, I think I was like, did he hit me? Did he say I owe him? Like, I didn't owe you, sir. It wasn't whether we dated or not, or you thought we did, I still don't owe you any part of my body. Ever.
That's just weird, you know.
Like,
what I mean?
I don't owe you that. And it's affected me because I'm not even willing to date certain people. Like, certain things about people, I'll be like, that's a red flag. But it's not them that's a red flag. It's the
trauma
it's
response.
the problem that I'm holding on to. Like, this person's name is weird. This person's zodiac sign it's a trigger for me. And I would find things about people and be like, yep, nope, not going to talk to this person, or nope, I'm not going to do this. But it was literally just me trying to stay away from the reminders of the people who had hurt me. And I don't know what got up to now, but we gonna try it. We working on therapy and moving past it, and I strongly suggest that for everybody, whether you've been traumatized or not from any type of situation. Therapy, please. Therapy.
Do you think that the person you need to talk to is probably your mother, and explaining to her how her response wasn't what you expected?
I know that needs to happen. I don't think that I'm ready, only because I need her to respond a certain way. And until I can get my mental to the point where if she doesn't respond the way I want her to, I still need to be okay with that. Like, I can't go in there with certain expectations. So if I'm going in there and I'm like, I'm doing this so I can get it off of me, then that needs to be the only thing that I finally get it off my chest. But not that I need her to respond a certain way.
So
And
you have to come to terms with recognizing that you might not get that response.
It's the response
But she definitely needs to know.
Yeah.
That's how you feel.
Yeah.
Because she probably not even aware that her response, she probably thought, you know, you have your out-of-body experience. She probably thought she responded one way and responded another way. And you were like, what? What's that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've noticed that recently, that even her normal, my mom calls and it's, I love you. She says it a lot. And normally I'm like, yeah, I love you too. And now it's like, all right, talk to you later. And I'm noticing that I'm angry.
You're angry. How long ago did this come out? How long has it been?
Tyler is 15. He was about 12.
So this is still recent.
It came out to my immediate family out loud.
About 3 years ago.
About 3 years ago. But I told my mom in 2020, basically, and within a month or so, she knew who.
Okay.
So
she's had time to process and go through, and then maybe circle back.
Yep.
But hasn't.
No.
Like, once that happened.
I bring it up.
Okay.
I have not brought it up, but I don't think she's ready, and that's okay. But I know for me, I'm ready, because I'm getting to the point where it's like word vomit. I'm gonna end up saying something, me being angry and just yelling it out. Even her just saying that she loved me, I get angry because it's like, do you? And I don't want to be that way with her, because she technically didn't do anything, but she did something.
It was the lack of.
Yeah.
Right.
But right now, she's doing something.
And that's why I was like, I need therapy, because I know I've been working on my healing, but I need professional help to be able to figure out what's next. I prayed on it and I was like, listen here, God, what's next? I'm ready for the next level of healing, and literally I bumped into a therapist.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that there's nothing wrong with it. And I think we have to stop being afraid to go to therapy along with telling the things that, you know, that have happened to us. We have to stop that. You know,
Only
get that
recently, I
healing.
feel like only recently has therapy been quote unquote accepted. For so long, especially in the Black community, therapy was shunned. Mental health was not talked about. It was pray about it and you'll be okay.
right.
When in reality, that's fine, but it needs to be in addition to someone who is clinically trained to help me sort this out.
Right.
These feelings that I'm feeling, these thoughts that I'm having. Like you said, you've been on your healing journey, but you needed more. You need professional
I've been
help.
stagnant for a long time. And it's like, who can help me get to the point where I'm okay with not getting a response that I feel like I deserve?
Right.
I'm probably not ever going to get you. I don't know if my therapist said this or someone else did. It probably was my therapist. I need you to be okay with not getting an apology from someone who doesn't feel like they're guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sheesh.
That's messed up, ain't it, right?
Like, what? You don't feel like you're guilty?
Right.
But I'm still expecting, I feel like I deserve that apology, but I have to be okay with not getting that because you don't feel like you're guilty.
However, I also feel like maybe not you, but me personally at the stage that I'm at right now, even not necessarily with the person who raped me, but just for other instances, even if I was to get an apology, I don't know if I'm ready to accept said apology. So that apology really may not mean anything. Like, it's just, I hear you and that's it.
I don't even think it's the
have to.
apology that I want. I think I just want my feelings to be validated.
Correct.
Even if you say I didn't do it, that's your story. That's your truth. That's what you feel. Maybe your subconscious hasn't released whatever memory. But to me, I will never play truth or dare. I will never ask to play truth or dare ever again. I don't want my child playing it. But acknowledge the fact that I have feelings and I've expressed that to you, and you just telling me nothing. Like, you just not going to acknowledge it. But you can walk in a room and taunt me and try to make it seem like I'm being mean and I'm not speaking to you. Okay, cool. But the next time we're in a room and you do it and I pick up a knife, then what? Then I'm wrong.
Right, then I'm looked at as the crazy person. I'm ruining the event. I'm doing X, Y, and Z when...
I'm just reacting.
A reaction has a reaction.
And I think that's a lot, too. People saying you acting funny or, you know what I'm saying, not knowing what's going on with you. No, I'm reacting.
You don't come around anymore. We don't see you. I haven't heard from you. You won't.
It's a lot. I be put in so many situations where I can be around certain people, and y'all know I think I'm real stylish or whatever, but even in a group setting, we went somewhere. We was actually in Chicago, and I just knew my outfit was so cute, and I was like, okay, cool. I had on my little booty shorts and my heels, and I was so confident and so comfortable until we got to where we were going, and everybody was parking, and then I seen him, and I was like, I every ounce of confidence drawed up, like, in my body. And it was like, we were already walking to where we were going. The person I was with, I grabbed and was like, oh, let's stay back. Because I didn't even feel comfortable walking in front of them with my shorts on.
Right.
It was like, yeah, let's not. Let's stay. Because I don't want to be in that position anymore.
What that sounds like is you still blaming yourself.
Absolutely, 100%. Because I went in there and I asked to play Truth or Dare. I want to play.
You're a child.
I want to
Play games.
I don't want to play
That's what
Barbies no
children
more.
do.
I want to play Truth or Dare. Because that's what y'all in here playing. The teenagers are in here playing Truth or Dare. So
You want it to be included.
And you, like, when you little, you want to be a teenager.
like,
You know what I mean?
they had the good snacks.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? It was like y'all in the living room playing, and
Y'all
I'm
sound
stuck
like y'all having
in the
a whole
room
lot more fun
by
than
myself.
I am.
So
Y'all having more
Yeah.
fun than me, so I want to come out here and have fun with y'all.
Exactly.
So no matter where I'm at, I dress different. If I know that person is going to be there, I act different. And I've been around people where I'm like super lively, my normal self, and I've had somebody ask me like, "What's your issue with such and such?" Like, what you mean? You change every time that person come in the room, and it's like nothing. I just don't talk to them. Like, it's something deeper, and I usually just avoid. But it's like, all right, y'all ready to go, or can we just leave? Like, everything in me dries up. Like, my whole entire body tense up. I don't want to. I'm the most uncomfortable I've ever been. I've actually been sick to my stomach before. Like, okay, I need to move. I need to get out of here. Like, I've literally got migraines being in the space with this person because my body is responding.
response.
Like, I don't know.
You're literally sick.
It's the most uncomfortable situation to be asked to be quiet. And that's something that my mom, you would say all the time, and she didn't know, obviously, but be seen and not heard. And that was hard. Like, but do you actually see me? And that's something that, like, as an adult, I know is something that I need as a love language. Like, I need to feel seen and I need to feel heard because it was something that I didn't get for so long. So when someone shows me that, that's when I feel the most loved. So that whole, as a child, be seen and not heard, get somebody else to do it, because we not paying attention close enough to know what we actually not seeing
Right.
or not hearing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much sleep after this.
So having 3 daughters, how do I even approach something like this?
With caution.
To find out, like, I assume we put them in the best circumstances, but I've never met anybody that has not had this situation happen to them.
You can always ask the questions, but be gentle with your question asking and be okay to hear the actual response. And
Or also be okay if they're not ready in that moment. But it's the thought of you asking that makes a difference. Even if they're not ready to tell you in that moment, the thought of you asking, like, okay, so now I know you care, but now I really know that you care. So when I am ready, I'll circle back.
I think it's good to, if you know you're finna ask this question, prepare yourself, because that's traumatizing for even a parent to hear. And if one of them just so happens to have a story, you have to be able to control your emotions because it might draw them back to not wanting to tell you, or another sibling to be like, I'm not telling because this is how he reacted. So we have to be able to respect whatever feelings that they are showing and what they need, and ask that, what do you need from me? That's something that I didn't get. What do you need from me? Is as simple as that. Because if I'm expecting you to just comfort me and you go off in a tangent, that might not be what I need, and that might make me feel like that was all about them. You just puffing your chest up, and all I need you to do right now is to comfort me. So I think that's important, to just be selfless in that moment.
So if you had the opportunity, if you had that opportunity and your mother said, what do you need me to do? What do you want from me? What would you have told her?
Just comfort me. Listen to me, and not necessarily validate what I'm saying, because there's no way for her to, but acknowledge what I'm feeling.
Believe me.
Respect my truth.
Say that. I had someone tell me, and I'm pretty sure it was Sam Collier, if I'm pronouncing her name, Till 365. I told my story at the first seat at the table, and she said, before we say anything, I just want to tell you, I believe you. I don't know if I've heard that before, but just her saying it in that moment, everything that I said, all she said was, I believe you. That was the most powerful thing that I had heard. I believe you.
A lot of times victims are not believed, especially when it's a family member, a close friend, somebody who's known. Oh, they wouldn't. They go to church. Oh, they wouldn't. They know this person, or I know their mama.
Right.
And we was raised together. They wouldn't. So those 3 words are very powerful.
I believe you.
I believe you. Ruthia, I believe you.
Thank you. And be open to allow them to.
Thank you.
Be open to allow them to
I'm so hurt.
say whatever they need to say versus badgering with questions, because it's, like I said, it's hard enough to even just say it, but you terrorize me with all these questions. It's like, I don't know, like, I just got to the point where I can say it out loud, and you're telling me you want to know 20 other questions. That's not relevant right now. All I need you to say is, I hear you, I believe you, and embrace me if that's what I need. But if I say don't touch me, understand that touching me freaks me out. You know, I pray I never have to comfort my son in this way. Never. I didn't think I was going to get through this. I'm so tired of hearing people say what I was years ago.
What difference does that make? It still happened to you. It still happened to each of us. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. It's still happening.
It's so present when it's a real trauma, because you can still feel them touching you. You can still feel their breath on you.
Still hear their voice.
It'll never be time. It'll never be, oh, it's been a year. I'm over it. It's been 10 years. I'm over it. Time will never make it better. Ever.
Yeah, this is not something to get over. This is a violation of you. You don't just get over it, you know.
Even just when I experienced my first time and the person telling me, like, you ain't no virgin. Ain't no way you was a virgin. Like, I freaked out because it was like, oh, my God, they can tell. Or do I say something now? Like, is this my time to tell? Or even just growing up and people teasing me for saying that I was a virgin. Like, you too grown to not be doing this. Or even in my 30s, like, how you 30 years old and you don't do that? Because it's a trauma for me. I'm not comfortable. And I still get people to say, like, you ain't over that yet?
The disrespect.
People are just stupid. They
Like,
just say stupid stuff. It's like, I mean, this is not related, but kind of related. My mom died 8 years ago. I still cry. I still have moments where I just, go through whatever. And people who mama is at home sitting on the couch will say, oh, time heals wound. How would you know? Your mama is sitting at home on her couch. You can get on the phone and call her. I can't get on the phone and call my mama. So don't tell me about what I'm feeling. If you've never been molested or raped or sexually abused or whatever, shut up. There's nothing you can say because you don't understand the trauma that comes with that. Mm-hmm. So the best thing for you to say is what you said. What can I do? How can I help you? How can I comfort? How can I be there for you? What do you need? Not, oh, you'll get over this. How do you know? This has not happened to you. This happened to me. You don't know what this feels like for me. This situation has destroyed my confidence. It has destroyed my esteem. It has made me, go all these years with guilt or whatever it is that we have had to deal with. Me dealing with a lot of sexual immorality in my life because of this situation. You know what I mean? You don't know what is like, not you, but people don't know. If it hasn't happened to you, you really don't understand. This is something that I have, something happened to me at 10 years old that I am carrying with me for the rest of my life. And you tell me that time is gone. I'm not saying I pick it up every day and I think about it daily, because I don't.
Right.
But sometimes it does come out.
There has been days where I've been intentional, like, I'm leaving this at home. I know I'm going out into the world. I'm being intentional about being happy, and something happens, and it's right there in my face.
It's right there, right back in your face.
It's right there. Or I had just recently even told my therapist that I feel guilty for even enjoying intimate moments with people who I'm inviting into my space, because it's, how am I able to enjoy something that has been so closely put to pain? Like, it's always been traumatizing for me. Why do I feel like I can enjoy that? And that has been like, if I'm in the moment, a lot of times I get freaked out because they don't know what they're doing that's triggering me. I don't even understand sometimes. It's like, oh, they breathed on my neck or whatever, and it freaks me out. Or I hear the person's voice, and that's hard to explain to somebody. Like, why you acting like that? Because I can hear their voice telling me, oh, you wanted that. I knew you wanted that. Or, see you enjoying it now. I taught you that. Like, those things that I hear in my head, and it's not necessarily something that they said to me. It's the trauma and the devil just trying to, put that into my head. But it's hard to explain that to somebody
that it hasn't happened to. I understand that guilt. I felt guilt for a long time. That, like I said, in that moment, it felt good. I mean, you know what I mean?
It's a sensation. We're human.
Right. And even though it was definitely wrong, I'm 10 years old. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, you feel guilty about that.
Definitely.
Like, why was I there? Why did I allow myself to be in that situation? But it was, my situation was a older boy made me and his sister, took off our clothes and made us, with each other. And and so it was like I just wanted to play. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to play, and that happened to me, and so I felt guilty. Like my mama always kept saying you shouldn't be in nobody's house. So of course I never told her, and then of course the sensation at the time feeling good. So I, then I felt guilt for that, but I knew it was wrong.
Right.
And I never said anything. I never told anybody.
Yeah. I don't think our parents understand the heavy load that they put on us as kids. Like I said, my mom, even her and I know she was saying it to let us know that there was a safe space for us to come to talk to her, but that was a lot for me.
Yeah, because you like what you said. If
don't
I
wanna
tell her, she gonna kill him, and then she gonna be in jail, and then you know what I mean? How we just our mind just
like
go
that was
with the
my
whole
thought process,
scenario.
but for her it was this is a safe space. Somebody do something to you, come tell me, and I'm gonna protect you. But for me, I didn't receive it that way.
Right.
And it's not on her that I didn't receive it the way that she put it out there. My mama would ask us all the time. Anytime we went somewhere, she didn't care if we went to the store, coming back home from school, it was, you good? Somebody do something to you? Like, she always made sure that me and my sister, for sure, felt like we had a safe space to talk to her. But I still didn't feel like I could tell her because I felt like it would be a trail of other things that would happen. It's like, well, then who gonna take care of us? If I tell you, then what happens after that?
Right.
So it was that heavy burden of, okay, she said I can tell her, but, and
If
even
I
if
do, then this is gonna happen.
yeah, and it was just like I didn't want that leftover residue or whatever was going to happen. When Tyler was a kid, I never wanted him to go anywhere. I still don't want him to go nowhere. But the first thing I would do is I'd be like, people got bed bugs. I would make him strip down and take his clothes off.
Yeah.
And I would put his clothes in the bag and I would check them later. I would put him in the tub as soon as he came in the house. But that was my way of checking his body.
Understood.
And for me, it was, I need to do this. Like, I had to because, like I said, for whatever reason, in my dream, I was in a tub. I was being drowned in a tub. It was, okay, let me put him in. Like, I would do stuff to Tyler to see if he would freak out or if he was too comfortable.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So, as a parent, you tell your
if
child.
that had happened to him. I understand.
You would tell your child, don't let people touch you. It has to be mommy, dad, or the doctors don't show people your private area, stuff like that. And even just me playing around and popping him on the butt, if he was too comfortable, I would question. But I knew I'm still an overthinker, but in my mind it was, he a little too comfortable. Why is he okay with that? And, just the different things that I wish that my mom would have noticed, because I'm pretty sure there were signs there. But, she was a single parent. She was raising kids and working 3 or 4 jobs.
There was a lot of stuff going on. And
yeah. So I don't blame her, but I don't blame her for what happened. I'm angry at how she didn't comfort me when I needed her. And I think that's what my biggest struggle. If the person who did something to me they never said nothing else to me, never acknowledged it, I think I've gotten past that and I will be okay. It's this is my mom. How did I not feel safe? And why do I not feel safe now?
Right.
Even just being in her presence, it's like, I don't feel that motherly thing with her. And that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. Whew.
So therapy probably need to be had for her as well. You know what I mean? Because she probably don't know how to deal with it. And so what we do sometimes, we don't know how to deal with it, so we just don't. But that's still dealing with it, No response is still a response. And so she probably don't know how to handle it, as oftentimes we don't.
Shit, I'm still navigating how to how to deal with it. And
right. But we have to understand that ignoring things don't make them go away. We just ignoring them.
Hell no. That teeth still rotting in the back of your mouth.
Seriously.
Just saying. All right, we can end it out. Y'all good on the topic? Y'all have anything else y'all want to say?
Just your story.
I'm good.
But unfortunately,
It's all of our story.
Right.
I wanted to look up the stats and see how many women in a room. Like if you put so many women, and unfortunately in our case, it's all three.
It's all three in homes. 3 out of 3, which is awful.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. And it affects us all differently. Some people go through this and they become addicted to sex. Mm-hmm. It's like they get a thrill out of it. And some people are terrified and they want to never be seen, looked at. They become a tomboy. They want to cover up. And I think we all go through those phases too. It's like, don't look at me because I don't feel pretty. I don't feel confident. I don't want to even intrigue any ideas. So that makes it. Try to put your readers back on.
Same thing. So according to, what is this, in National
Sexual Violence Resource Center,
1 in 5 women in the United States experience completed or attempted rape during their lifetime. And then, let me see.
One out of 5, and that number is scarily high.
Right. No, that's in experience. That's in a completed or attempted rape.
But think about how many of
I'm thinking about also
that 1 out of 5 women haven't said something, or
I don't know when that is. I'm on CDC.
Oh, okay.
And CDC actually says it's now 1 in 4 women.
Well, there's 3 right here.
Exactly.
Think about how many times we've been in a group of women, and it's 10 of us. Mm-hmm. Think about how many times we've been in a group of women, and it's 20 of us. Mm-hmm. And we just proved that 3 out of 3. Mm-hmm. How many times have we been in a room with someone who share our same story, and we don't know? And just speaking my story, I'm hoping brings light to other people or can help someone else feel comfortable to tell their story.
Right.
So do whatever it takes, whether it's I journal sometimes, whether you need to video journal, write it down, scream, cry in a shower. Do whatever it takes so that you are comfortable with telling your story. Each time it will get easier. It's still going to hurt.
Yeah.
But it's going to get easier. And we got to say something.
We have to say something.
We got to say something. I don't care if you just telling the person next to you, because then it might make them aware. And I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but just it might make the person next to you aware of what's going on. What if they don't have that experience, or they've never been exposed to anything like that? It would make them less likely to be a victim.
Right.
Speak out, please. And I'm saying that for me. Speak out. I'm way past the statute of limitations, but it's not going to stop me from telling my story over and over again, because it's going to help somebody somewhere.
Right. So that's exactly what this episode is about. Is about if you've been sexually abused, assaulted, raped, it's time to speak out about it. Like, you have to tell somebody. You have to hold the other person accountable, as tough as it may be. I feel like you can reach out to any three of us. Reach out to us. We hear, we believe you.
I'm listening.
We're listening.
I
we
see
hear
you.
We see you. And we want to support you.
Definitely. Let's start this healing journey. I bring the tissues because I'm definitely crying.
Definitely.
Tommy, you got any last words before we get into the pull another plug?
No. I have one thought that's been going through my head the entire time is that there are some very, very miserable ass, lousy ass niggas in the world. Like it's unbelievable. And the thing that makes me the angriest is that I might be around them and not know.
Right.
And then victims like y'all see me around them and think that I'm affiliated because I'm around them. But niggas like that don't talk. They don't say shit. They don't tell people shit like that. They just grimy on their own. I like to think my circle of friends are on the up. I mean, I've had a couple that we found out later, like, damn, the fuck you on? Like, and then they get arrested and all that. I mean, it's like, never saw it coming.
Right.
And we go back playing like, damn, man, I was over his house and all. You start actually blaming yourself and shit. So nowhere near the trauma y'all experience. And I'm sorry that you guys have experienced that because, I mean, there's no apology I can give that could actually heal y'all wounds. But like you said, prevention. I think I'm going to talk to my ex-wife because I know that she's like your mother was. Like, well, y'all good? Shouldn't let them go over anybody's house. But, circumstances happen. And talk to her and see if she's had conversations with them before I go jump in trying to have conversations with them.
That's a good start.
That's a good start.
I mean, ain't good
Start a
wrong,
conversation.
but,
Right. But still, you still daddy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. And
I also don't want to not say that people who are sexually assaulted and people who do the assaulting are not limited to just men or female.
Right.
Like, it can be either way. So we don't want to put a gender cap on it. It's people in general. It's
sick people. Right.
So, just as much as we need to heal, the molesters and the rapists need to heal as well. So we don't know their story either.
Fuck their story.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
Right. No, I get it. I mean,
it took me a long time.
I still
to get
feel like
there.
it's sometimes I think it's a choice. Like, what happened to you? You didn't go on to harm anybody. What happened to me? I didn't go on to harm anybody. Like, we harmed ourselves, but
I might have broke a couple hearts.
For Denise the same, but it's like the things that they've done, like if they were hurt and then they went on to hurt somebody else, it's just like it was a choice.
Right.
You made a choice to do that when we made a choice not to do that.
Right.
So I hope somebody hears this and take advantage of this.
Mother, stop hiding y'all sons. All right, what we pulling the plug on?
Jesus Lord. I mean, I don't know if it's pulling the plug, but being silent about this.
Yeah.
No more silence.
Hiding.
No more hiding. No more being embarrassed. None of that.
And also, self-sabotaging because we've been through something. Don't say that I'm not ready or it's not time. It's the time. You're strong enough, sis. It's the time for you to speak up. It's the time for you to heal. It's the time for you to get back to enjoying just you. It's time. We're pulling the plug on saying it's not time and self-sabotaging.
Right. And it's not your fault.
I believe you.
I see you.
I hear you.
All right. Assuming the button works this time. Boom, boom. Boom, boom.